Yeah, so last night I woke up at like 1 a.m. Is a.m. midnight? I woke up at midnight and I suddenly had the best idea ever. I'm starting a new school tomorrow with like an entire new class, a bunch of new people, and I have social anxiety. And a bunch of other stuff. No, but it's very very hard for me to focus on positive stuff and like be positive. I'm a Hufflepuff, so I came up with a craft idea that will help me with this. So the idea is to make the Hufflepuff points hourglass, you know, the fours that are in the Great Hall in the movies. So the idea is that the top is open and I got like these tiny yellow square papers, and every time something positive happens every day, you write it on a note, and then you scrunch it all up into a ball and then throw it in the hourglass. Because you know, in the movies when you score points, they're like gems falling down and the hourglass fills up. So this will also be like a full school year, and as the school year goes by, it will hopefully fill up. So this is going to be a challenge because I usually always focus on the negative stuff, but it's a fun challenge because this will help me focus more on the positive stuff, and it'll be fun to like look back at the end of the school year and see that the hourglass is like hopefully full, I hope. So that's my idea. It's great. It's a great idea. I'm so happy with this idea. I just hope it all works out. Voiceover Anouk will take over in a couple of seconds, and I hope everything turns out great. I hope it works out and I can start filling it, because that would be cool. Hi, that was cringe. Anyway, for this project I needed to grab 3 plastic bottles and then clean them, obviously. I don't drink iced tea, and let me tell you, the smell was fucking disgusting. Anyway, while I was cleaning them, there was a cat on our trash can outside. We don't own a cat, but thankfully Luna didn't see it, or else this would have turned into a crime scene. Anyway, I got the bottles. Time to work on the sketch. I wanted to Google the official design of the hourglasses in the movie, but it turns out that with all the games and websites and whatever, there were like 7 different designs. I really like this one, but it was way too difficult to make and I had no patience, so I chose the version that was in the movies, which is also great. Here's the sketch. Time to rip the bottles apart. I started cutting the bottles, which was more difficult than I thought, but then again, I'm very weak. So it took me like 30 minutes to cut through all 3 bottles. Here's me demonstrating what my idea is. That idea, by the way, was even more difficult than my weak ass trying to cut through those bottles. I spent another 30 minutes trying to figure out how the fuck I was going to glue the pieces together. The only invisible glue I had was worthless, so yeah, I had to glue them together a few more times during the making of this project because it kept falling apart. For the large part, I tried using Mod Podge to glue the 2 bottles together, but yeah, it still kind of fell apart. But thankfully there was going to be a ring over this part later in the process of this project. Here's me trying to glue the top piece again. This idea actually worked. I just had to put 3 more layers of glue on top of it, you know, just to make sure it wouldn't fall apart again. Anyway, after 2 days of waiting, the sticks I ordered finally arrived so I could continue working on this project. And hey, the sticks came in a box and I used that box for the circles. Recycle, people, recycle. So I made 3 big rings and 2 small rings, and for each ring I layered 3 pieces of cardboard, which was way too much effort, but it paid off in the end. This is what I had so far. Very nice. For the bottom ring I used 4 layers so that the bottle actually had a bottom and the paper balls didn't fall through. Here's me demonstrating how the rings work. It's really not that difficult. So after I made sure the rings actually fit on the bottles, I glued them together. The middle ring was difficult because the bottom of the bottle was thicker than the middle part where the ring was supposed to go, so I had to cut through them. Here's me showing off the smaller rings. Yes, there are only 2. Did you figure out the problem yet? Well, I didn't. Anyway, dump me continued crafting and started coating the cardboard rings with clay, which was pretty easy to my surprise. The clay did add quite a bit of weight to the whole thing, so if you're also making this, make sure that the wires you're gonna hang this up with are very strong. As you will see later on in the video, I use some iron wire for it, which probably won't snap. Anyway, here's me trying to make some cool peeling videos, which aren't nice to watch at all, but hey, at least I tried. These are all the things I have so far. Did you spot the second mistake? Yeah, the only way to paint the inside of the rings now is to shove a paintbrush through the small hole at the bottom of the bottle. Great job, Anouk. I went to my dad's house to drill some holes into the sticks, and then it was time to assemble. And at that point, I finally realized the mistake I made. Yeah, you guessed it right. I need 4 small rings instead of 2. Roll the clips of me making those 2 small rings again so it looks like I filmed the progress of the other 2 rings. After I finally got all the parts, or so I thought, it was time to paint the rings. Here's what I was talking about earlier. Yeah, it was a real pain in the ass to paint the inside of the middle ring, but it kind of worked. And if this year is somehow really positive, the hourglass will be filled up so you won't see the inside anyway. So yeah, just painting the other parts with this metallic paint, which only fully covered the parts after 3 fucking coats. Also, for some reason, metallic paint is really sticky even after it dried. Yeah, it's, I don't know, fucking weird. I wanted to paint the sticks with metallic silver paint, but the coverage of that paint was so bad I had to paint the stick a light gray first before I covered it with the metallic paint. After all the painting stuff, here are the parts I have so far. The hourglass itself with the golden rings, the bottom piece of the hourglass, the 4, not 2, but 4 smaller golden rings, and then the 2 silver sticks. Time to assemble all the pieces. I started out with the bottom piece of the hourglass so I could finally make it completely straight and not like the fucking Tower of Pisa or whatever. Oh, another thing I forgot. What a surprise. I forgot to make the top ring and the bottom ring the same size. So I had to stick some clay in between the smaller rings and the bottom ring because, yeah, the ring at the top was too big. But that didn't turn out too bad, thankfully. Here are the other things I forgot. There were arrows on the sticks in my sketch, so I also had to cut those out and paint them gold. While the clay was drying, I glued the small rings to the sticks. Kinda ugly, not gonna lie, but the hourglass was kinda heavy because of all the glaze, so it needed some extra support. When the clay was finally dry, I could also paint those pieces gold, and then it was almost finished. I stuck the arrows on the sticks with some double-sided tape and slightly folded them to make them hug the sticks. How else can you say that in English? I don't know, hugging the sticks sounds cute. I don't know. Final step is to poke this green iron wire through the tiny holes. I hate that it's green, but I was too tired to paint them white, so I just left them green. My room is weird, so there are like these holes and wooden planks everywhere. So I hung my hourglass right next to my desk, and that was it. Here are some cool aesthetic shots to show off the finished project. Wow, and some cool sound effects like fireworks or explosions. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it wasn't too messy or stupid. I don't know, it's been a while. But yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye.